Hey, sports fans, welcome back to another episode of Bucky's Sports Show. I'm joined this evening with my buddy Jay. We're going to talk about all the awful predictions that we had back in March, about 6 months ago, when we were talking about the previews.
No, they weren't all awful.
No. I was dead on a couple of teams, but I was way off on a lot of others. But we will start. Let's start in NL West because you were about to tell me a situation with the San Francisco Giants, and that actually leads to a question I have for you.
Okay.
Do you know the last time someone played in 163 games?
No.
Did you know that happened this year?
This year?
Yeah.
No.
Rafael Devers, due to the trade from the Red Sox to the Giants, played in 163 games this season.
So he played at a Boston game and then flew out and played in a...
It has only happened 7 other times in MLB history. It first happened with Willie Mays in 1962.
When he went from San Francisco to the Mets.
And the season ended in a tiebreaker game, which pushed him to 163.
Oh, no. Okay. All right. That was before he got traded to the Mets. Okay.
Bobby Bonilla in 1989. Albert Bell in 1998. Cal Ripken Jr. in 1996.
That had to be a tiebreaker, Cody.
Some of these probably are tiebreakers.
Yeah.
Todd Zill, 1996.
Okay.
Justin Morneau was the last to do it in 2008, and then Rafael Devers this season.
And Morneau must have been a tiebreaker too.
It says Twins had a tiebreaker game to decide a division title.
So you always played for the Twins, okay? Yeah.
Yeah. So
I did not know it happened this year. No.
But in 1996, Zill was traded to the Baltimore Orioles midseason. And the Orioles had a 163 game schedule due to a suspended game.
Okay.
So that would also answer the Cal Ripken Jr. There as well.
Okay. All right.
But I thought that was interesting when I heard that. But let's start with the San Francisco Giants because you were about to say that
Doug Melvin got fired today. Posey let him go. Second year with him. And the rumor is, of course, you know how rumors are.
Yep.
Put whatever stock you want to in it, but Bruce Bochy's contract runs out with the Rangers now. And they have not offered him an extension. Buster has a 2-year contract with San Francisco and played under Bochy at the Giants. So the rumor is that he'll bring Bochy back for one last hurrah. Bochy will help him because let's face it, Buster's new at the general manager position.
Right.
So that would be great. He would benefit greatly from Bochy's experience. I mean, undoubtedly one of the greatest managers of all time with all the World Series he's won, different teams, so he's a heck of a guy, yeah. So that's the rumor.
Okay, so looking at the Giants season, the betting odds that I gave back in March, the World Series I took the no, the NL Pennant I took the no, the NL West I took the no. The win total was set at 80.5. I took the over. And I said I saw it as a 500 team.
Yeah.
And they finished 81-81.
Yep.
First off, what a line by Vegas. But what a prediction by me. So call the 500. It's still in my notes. I was stunned when I saw that this morning because I did not remember making that. But it was right there. Make the playoffs, no. I hit every single thing exactly perfect with the San Francisco Giants.
Well, I didn't even think they'd be at 500, but and if they hadn't made that trade for Devers right in the middle of the season, they probably wouldn't have got there. But
Right.
And then also, Adamas.
Yeah.
First half of the year, he played terrible.
Yep.
He started coming on second half of the year, so that kind of pushed him towards the 500 mark at least.
Yeah. Yep. Colorado Rockies. I hit everything perfect on them because I knew they sucked, and they did. So we won't talk about them. Arizona Diamondbacks. I kind of thought they kind of had a little bit of a disappointing season.
Yeah.
In my playoff thing here, I had them as the 6th seed.
And they made a run at the last wild card.
They did. They couldn't overtake the Reds.
Well, and one of the
they would have jumped the Mets because almost everyone did.
Well, one of the problems is they played the Dodgers for the last week of the season. So
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, but 86.5 was the mark Vegas set.
Mm-hmm.
And I took the over on that. And that didn't. No. So, I was kind of a little disappointed in that one. Padres. Talk about a team that
they finished about
shined.
Exactly where I thought they would. I thought they would finish second. Thought they would make it interesting, and they did for a while, until right at the end.
They made the entire season interesting in the West.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought Los Angeles would run away with it.
Well, and I know people who complained about the Dodgers' payroll and sucking up a lot of the free agents won't agree with this, but
yeah, I don't like their payroll.
Well, if the Dodgers hadn't had so many injuries, they probably would have run away with it. But Snell missed 3/4 of the season. Glasnow was out for a long time. Muncy was out for a while. So, you keep those guys healthy all year,
Mm-hmm.
they probably would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Snell's always been a little bit delicate anyway. So, who's to say?
Right. And then the Dodgers. Hard to say that a division championship is underwhelming, but this one was underwhelming.
Yeah.
They were the odds-on favorite to win the World Series,
mm-hmm.
and the NL pennant,
mm-hmm.
and the NL West.
And they still might.
And their win total by Vegas was 103.5.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did take the under on that, so I got the check mark that was correct. But if you would have told me the wins were down where they are, I would not have believed that.
Well, there again, like I said, the pitching staff was decimated at the first half of the season, and as long as they're happy with what they did,
Yeah, I mean...
They're where they, and we'll talk about this, later when we talk about, the upcoming postseason, but really, right now, they're exactly where they want to be.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in a minute because that's going to be
the other thing,
question.
Mookie Betts' first half of the season.
Well, he had
dismal.
that virus that was making him sick.
Yeah.
I think Freddie Freeman even missed some time with his sick.
Yeah.
He had a child going through some health problems.
And he was still, first part of the season, that ankle was still bothering him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See, a lot of bad things there for them. I know it's hard to feel sorry for them, but that's an explanation.
I definitely don't feel sorry for him. But, end of the day, they got 2 playoff teams out of that division.
Mm-hmm.
Dodgers, the champion, 3 seed. Padres, the 4. Right? Or are they the 5?
The
5. It'd be the 5.
The
The
5,
Cubs
yeah.
are the 4. And since we just mentioned the Cubs, let's go to the NL Central. Oh, the Cubs.
Did better than I thought they would.
I'll tell you, when I told you I thought they'd make the playoffs, you gave me a look. And the most surprising thing to me about the Cubs this year was how often you actually wanted them to win. I could not believe a team that you just absolutely refused to watch, as big of a baseball fan you are, wanted them to actually win games this year. I was stunned.
We won't get into why.
Good. Because I don't want to edit anything out. But I had them winning the NL Central. They fell just short of that.
I did predict that Milwaukee would win the
Yes.
Central.
I had the win total 85.5. I took the over, which was correct, and to make the playoffs, I had yes as well. The Reds, another team. Now I'm just going to start this here. The Reds in their last 80 games this season went 40-40. The collapse that the Mets had to be the worst collapse in modern baseball era.
Well, now they might be in competition this year alone in collapses because a certain team had a 15.5 game lead on the second place team in July and now finished second in the division.
Okay, but did the team that catch them win?
Yeah.
Because the Reds didn't win.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like,
Yeah,
they were a 500 team and still caught the Mets.
the Reds owe thank you cards and Christmas cards, not only to two different teams, the Mets, of course,
Yeah.
but they also owe a great deal of thanks to the Cubs. How in the world the Cubs went into Cincinnati and got swept in the last week of the season?
Well,
How do you sweep the Cubs and lose 2 out of 3 to the Pirates?
yeah, I don't know. The Reds are a hard team to figure out this year, especially when you can't watch them because of the MLB blackout.
Yeah, we want to get to that.
But on them, I had them not winning the Central. I can't say no on the World Series or pennant yet because they're still playing. But their win total is 78.5. I took the over. Hit that. I didn't have them making the playoffs though.
Very few people did.
Milwaukee Brewers. For as good as I was against the San Francisco for the Giants season, I didn't have a single thing correct here. Now, with that being said, though, the World Series and the NL pennant, that's not over yet. I had no on that, obviously, because I didn't have them even making the playoffs. 83.5. I took the under on the wins. I was not anywhere near the ballpark on the Milwaukee Brewers. But had a great season.
Oh, I love the way Milwaukee plays because I'm old fashioned. I like small ball and I like fundamental baseball, and they do it maybe better than any team in baseball right now. And then the other team that does it really well, and that's why they're where they are right now, is Cleveland. And several of the, quote, experts on MLB Network today were predicting that the Milwaukee manager and the Cleveland manager, Stephen Vogt, that the managers of the year would go just like last year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who won it last year. I think it's, and here again, terrible with names, the Milwaukee manager. They didn't give him credit enough. Yeah. The Cubs pay this exorbitant amount for Craig Counsell, and I think it's just absolutely hilarious that you overpaid Counsell and you get your butts beat by the guy that took his place, for a lot less money.
Yeah.
I think that's hilarious. And one of the dumbest thing the Cubs ever did was overpay for him when they could use that money somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
All right, the Pirates here real quick. I had everything correct except for the win total, the 77.5. I had the over.
Yeah.
I also, in parentheses on make playoffs, had them as the first team out. I'm actually kind of wondering what I might have been on the day I just did my NL Central. Because it's not anywhere in the ballpark of some things. But
Well, the unfortunate thing is, and maybe the reason why people had a little bit more hope in them than they ended up having was, and we talked about this, before the season started, that they've got one of the best pitching staffs from top to bottom in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And all they needed to do at the trade deadline was go out and get not a superstar like a Soto, but just a good, solid offensive tool
Yeah.
to go with that pitching staff. And that window is closing on that pitching staff. You've got Skeens basically for, you might as well say 2 more years, because you got him for 3 more years, but if you're not going to do something to improve the team, you're nuts if you don't trade him in the 3rd year,
Right.
because to get something out of it.
Yeah.
Don't let him contract run out.
Yeah.
So, and then you got Chandler came up. Jones was hurt most of the year. Great. Oliveto came back from the minors and did terrific in the last month of the season.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really sad for Pittsburgh fans that this window is closing and this ownership group won't do anything about it. Because I'm a little bit of a Pittsburgh fan, because I see all those Indians players
Yeah.
at Indianapolis, and it's sad for me too. I wish they'd do something. They owe it to the fans for sure.
Right. And then we'll end up on the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, I had everything correct except the win total. Win total was set at 77.5. I took the under. They finished at 78. Again, Vegas, what a line. Vegas is very good at what they do.
Yeah. Now, to show you, like I said, like we were alluded to earlier, the Reds kind of backing into this.
Mm-hmm.
Up until the last 2 weeks of the season, it looked like the Cardinals were going to pass the Reds.
Yeah.
They were at one point a game and a half back with like 2-3 weeks left to play,
Mm-hmm.
which I found astounding, because at the beginning of the season, I almost predicted the Cardinals and the Pirates would fight it out for the cellar. So,
Yeah.
Yep. But as long as Marmol's coaching that team, I'm not going to blame everything on him.
Mm-hmm.
It trickles down from management, from ownership and general manager. But you can't have him as a head coach.
Well, they're getting a new general manager though, so.
Well, they've got him now. Mozeliak. This was Mozeliak's last year, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
All right, NL East. You want to start with it or you want to end with it? Alphabetical order has it up here at the top. Well, let's just start with it.
Okay.
The Atlanta Braves. Now, I will say.
And I was actually dumb enough to predict them to win the division.
I will say. I had everything correct except to make the playoffs. I had the World Series no, NL Pennant no, NL East no.
Well, you did have the win total right for sure.
Win total 93.5. I took the under.
Okay.
Make the playoffs. I went yes. Way off on that one. But it was a disappointing season. They were 21-35 in 1-run games. So they played a lot of close games that just didn't go their way. They had a sub 500 record in extra inning games, one of which isn't in that because they gave up 5 runs in the 10th inning. Like, how the hell do you give up 5 runs in the 10th? That's neither here nor there. Their starting pitchers, none of the 5 opening day starters, including Spencer Strider, who wasn't going to have a full season anyway because he didn't come back till May, none of them pitched the entire season. Like, they had so many daggone injuries. It just felt like anyone that pitched for the Braves was going to have some sort of issue in their shoulder or their arm or their elbow, and it just then the season just drags on.
Oh yeah, well let's face it, I'm not going to use the word lucky, but as fortunate as they've been over the years to avoid that, sooner or later it happens to everybody.
It'll catch you, yeah.
It bit them in the butt this year. So
well, and then offensively, they were awful with runners in scoring position.
That's the part that boggles my mind, is even though they had so many pitchers hurt, their offense still sputtered.
Yeah, because no one on the team had a normal season. But sometimes you'll have 2 or 3 guys that's not a normal season, but they play well above what they do. No, all 9, 10, 11, 12 guys, whoever they throw on the field, was so far below their average.
It was above.
You're right.
So yeah.
So it's like, oh my gosh, like you try to buy a win and you just can't do it. But it was definitely a disappointing season for me. But they have a lot of players in the prime of their career in 2026. Could be very fun. Miami Marlins. Again, I got everything right here except the win total. 63.5.
They shocked me.
I took the under. They're a lot better than I thought they'd be.
They did great second half of the year.
Yeah. Alcantara came back. He looked good. He looked like his old self.
They were within striking distance of the last wild card for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only saving grace to as bad as the Braves season was the Mets collapse. I loved watching the Mets collapse.
Well, I would normally.
I had 3 things right. The World Series pennant in at least no. I did take the over on 90.5, and I took them yes in the playoffs. But man,
normally I wouldn't have been so excited about that because I've never been a Mets fan, but I've never harbored the hatred that you have. But when they signed Juan Soto, just tickles me to death that they didn't make the playoffs.
That's my thing. They spent their payroll is so high.
Well,
and then they don't win with it.
It's not that their payroll was so high; it's how they used it. If they would have taken that Soto contract and split it up and went out and got not necessarily number 1 starters, but quality starting pitching. They could have got 2 or 3 quality starters for that one contract, and that's what killed them.
Yeah.
They had no starting pitching in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their starters ERA was dismal.
Yeah.
That's what killed them.
And former Sycamore, Sean Manaea,
hurt.
He was hurt most of the year.
Yeah.
So that didn't help him either.
Would have been probably the best they've ever had.
Yeah.
Healthy.
Yeah. Washington Nationals, let's talk about them real quick. I had everything right again except the win total. That was set at 72.5. I took the over. I thought they would be where the Marlins were
Yeah.
Boy,
Flip
did
that.
that flip flop.
Yeah.
Just kind of a disappointing season.
Yeah, I agree.
Abrams, Bell, Woods, they just didn't perform like I thought those guys would.
Mm-hmm. Very young.
Yeah. Philadelphia Phillies. So far, I am dead on the Phillies. They won the NL East, and the money was in my betting account today, so we're good there. Win total 91.5 over. I got that right. Make the playoffs, yes, got that right. NL pennant, I have no losing NLCS, and the World Series, obviously I have no because I have them losing in the NLCS. But man, Red October is going to be tough for people.
That like we get in postseason later, but they're gonna be tough to beat. They have home field advantage against anybody but Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that surprised me was that the pitchers like Wheeler, he's not even in the mix right now.
Yeah.
The pitchers that they had step up that got them where they're at aren't the ones that you would have said at the beginning of the season are going to be their aces.
Right.
Yeah. And now, it's just, and Schwarber, yeah, I thought he'd have a good year, but I didn't think he'd have a year like he had.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And that leads to another interesting question about him because he's a free agent at the end of this year. So now that you've got the DH in both leagues, wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How much they want to pay to keep him and who wants to.
Right.
Yeah, so that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the NL side of the bracket here. Dodgers versus the Reds. Those all three games are played at LA. Reds have no chance. Right?
I'm sorry, I don't see any legitimate shot. I mean, yeah, you got to play them. But if the Reds were to win this series, it would be one of the biggest upsets of all time. Because here's the thing about the Dodgers, they're so deep that they got their three starters lined up. They still haven't announced who's going to be the game one starter.
Mm-hmm.
But they have picked who the three starters are going to be. They just haven't picked the order.
Right.
But now, because of their depth at starting pitcher, they got three starters in the bullpen since Sasaki came back, and he's been we're coming out of the bullpen, and he's been absolutely filthy the last week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Glass now coming out of the bullpen, one of the filthiest starters of all of baseball when he's healthy. And I really disagree with one of the things that the Dodgers did. They left Clayton Kershaw off the wild card roster.
Mm.
He pitched out of the bullpen last week.
Right.
And did great.
Yeah.
And he's had a great year.
Yeah.
Now, there's got to be somebody else in that bullpen that he's better than. So I would have put him in the bullpen. Now, how would you like to be a batter and go from Sasaki in one inning, throwing 100 and something mile an hour, and then have Clayton Kershaw come in and start throwing that maybe one of the best curveballs of all time?
Mm-hmm.
On a side note, my daughter Taylor was at his last game at Seattle. I was so happy with how he went out. I mean, I don't care if you're a Dodger fan or not, you can't admire and respect not only the player he's been, but the person he is. the standing ovation he got when he got out, the fact that his last batter was a strikeout, and the Seattle crowd just went nuts for him, and she got to see all that.
Right.
But I really disagree with them taking him off that wild card lineup. I don't really understand that. But it'd be interesting to see who starts for them. Yamamoto, Snell, Ohtani, who will start game one. And, you know, I saw the comparison chart of position by position, and he's a great young player, but at this point in his career, De La Cruz is one of the most overrated superstars in the game. He hasn't put a season together yet.
Yeah.
And the analysis of position by position, the voters that went in on an article on MLB Network actually had Mookie Betts ahead of him, advantage Dodgers, because even though Mookie Betts had a terrible first half of the season, it's just the other way around for De La Cruz. He had a great first half of the season, and he has tailed off terribly since then. And Mookie's second half numbers, especially for the last month or two, have just been fantastic. So you've got all these Hall of Famers, and the thing about the Dodgers is they're not going to scare. They're not going to get worried. They're not going to get scared. You're not going to rattle them. I just don't see the Reds having a chance.
There he is. He had 264 this year.
Yeah, but he was, first half of the season, he was down in the 230s, 240s.
264, 22 home runs, 86 RBI, 37 stolen bases.
And batting in front of Freddie Freeman.
No, De La Cruz.
Oh,
that's
De La
Cruz.
Okay.
Mookie Betts was 258, 20 home runs, 82 RBI.
Yeah. I just don't see the Reds as having a chance in this. This is the only series of all the postseason series that I see that's really easy to pick. The other ones are very difficult. Every one of the other ones is difficult.
Yeah. With that, though, let's talk about one of those other ones. Padres at Cubs.
I'm going to pick the Padres with no personal animus thrown into this at all. But because of what I heard today.
Okay.
Cade Horton is out.
Who?
Cade Horton, their best pitcher this year, their ace, up for Rookie of the Year. And the best numbers of any Cubs pitcher this year, especially in the second half, he's out. Your ace is gone. That's a huge blow.
It is.
And the other, like Imanaga, he's not had a good second half.
Yeah.
Got beat by the Reds. I just don't. They do have home field advantage. That's going to help.
This is one of those. If this was at San Diego, I'd probably go San Diego, but it's at Chicago, so I'm going to go Cubs.
I don't see that affecting it enough.
But
it's tough. I mean,
we'll see.
It's tough.
That's just kind of the way I'm leaning, but
I would have probably picked the Cubs before I found that out. I don't see their.
But my thinking is a starter is just one game. There's still two other guys you gotta.
Right, but what you said, if they lose that first game, the home field advantage, I think, with the crowd is even more in San Diego than Wrigley. Passion of the fans of San Diego, I see just as good or better than Chicago.
Right, but all three of these games are in Chicago, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the wild card series is all in one location.
All right.
So.
Okay.
I think
I still think San Diego will win.
Yeah, so I'm just home field. I think I don't know. Probably not much advantage. I feel like baseball used to have a huge home field advantage when they had the bullpens out on the field because you had to know where everything was, where all the humps were.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you don't have to do that anymore.
No, just a few places, yeah.
Most of the time, professional guys, they block out the noise. But there's something about Wrigley, the familiarity of it, I think just gives the Cubs an advantage there. Division series. Dodgers, Phillies. Now here's the question. Because the Phillies have home field, and I have seen Red October as a Braves fan. It is a real thing. It is almost impossible to win a playoff game in Philadelphia. Can the Dodgers go in and still win?
There's an unresolved question that would greatly affect how I would pick that to go. It's still not known when Will Smith will be back. If Will Smith is completely healthy and able to be to his midseason form, because you remember at one point, Will Smith was leading the National League batting average.
Right.
And one stat that, until he got hurt, one stat that a lot of people don't realize is that up till midpoint of the season, Will Smith had the best batting average in all of baseball with runners in scoring position. And when you've got Ohtani and Betts and Freeman back in front of you, and you got the best average with runners in scoring position in baseball, what's that compute out to?
Right.
So he's got that hairline fracture in his hand. He was scheduled today to take live BP. But even if he comes back, is his timing going to be off? I can't pick that series without knowing if he could play, because behind him you basically got, I don't want to say nothing, but his backup batted like 150.
Yeah.
So that's the glaring hole. And I mean, we've talked about how important the catching position is, not just by hitting, but running the team. And he's one of the best in the world at it.
Yeah.
So that I can't pick that without knowing how he's going to be.
Well, maybe we'll have to come back next week.
Yeah.
Or after the wild card series.
Yeah.
Discuss.
Yeah. I can't.
For here though, Cubs or Padres. Which one of those gives the Brewers a better series?
I think the Brewers have owned the Cubs this year.
Does the Cubs-Brewers new kind of rivalry add a little intrigue in that series at all?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. I think it goes to the Brewers' advantage because we're the new kids on the block. We've been disrespected for years by you. We'd love to see our manager kick the you-know-what out of your manager. We're playing for Bob Uecker. I think there's a lot of mental things there that work. Whereas if they played the Padres, that's all kind of out the window except for the Bob Uecker thing.
Right.
So I think the Brewers would rather play the Cubs. The other disadvantage to that is The disadvantage to that is because of their close proximity
Mm-hmm.
to Chicago, whether you like it or not. And if I was a diehard Brewer fan, I would sell my ticket to the game to a Cub fan for nothing.
Right.
But there'll be a lot of Cubs fans make that trip up there. There always is.
There is.
Back before Milwaukee got good again, you'd see more Cub fans there than you would Brewer fans.
Yeah.
So that may offset it, but I think the Brewers would rather play the Cubs because they're more used to them, and I think they've owned them this year pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Well, that'll wrap up this episode. We'll be right back in the very next episode here, talk about the AL, just like we did here with the NL. So make sure you like, subscribe, comment. Have anything you want to discuss, email me, BuckySportsShow@gmail.com, and we will see you next time. Enjoy the games.